And tonight, Steve Bannon is the first of Trump's close aides to be convicted as a result of investigations into the Capitol riot. This afternoon, a jury in Washington found the political advisor turned podcaster guilty of 2 counts of contempt of Congress. Those charges are the result of his refusal to comply with a January 6th committee subpoena. The verdict came hours after the committee's primetime hearing that saw White House insiders paint a damning portrait of a president choosing to allow a deadly insurrection to rage unchecked. Tonight, the panel called today's Bannon verdict, quote, a victory for the rule of law and an important affirmation of the Select Committee's work. Despite the guilty verdict, Bannon and his lawyer remain defiant after the jury's decision.
The prosecutor missed one very important phrase, right? I stand with Trump and the Constitution, and I will never back off that, ever.
This is round one. That's what happened.
This
is a bulletproof appeal. You will see this case reversed on appeal.
As Bannon awaits his sentencing on October 21st, the committee is promising a new round of public hearings in September. Tonight, member Jamie Raskin described what's ahead.
There are still witnesses coming forward, and we still continue to learn more about the plot, even as all of the essential elements of Trump's attempt to dismantle the results of the 2020 election and overturn the constitutional order are well known by now to everybody. So we have to both continue the investigation, but then also begin to wrap it up by figuring out, well, what are the legislative recommendations?
And a former advisor to the panel also hinted there may be more surprises ahead.
There's things the committee hasn't released, and there's a lot more data than that. The committee, even after 8 hearings, still has momentum. I know for a fact that they have a lot more data. They have an amazing amount of data.
The committee is also focused on those missing Secret Service texts related to January 6th. Agency Director James Murray today issued a statement saying, quote, I have directed our personnel to cooperate fully and completely with the committee, and we are currently finalizing dates and times for our personnel to make themselves available to the committee for follow-up inquiries. The Homeland Security Inspector General has opened a criminal inquiry into the missing texts. Some of the Secret Service agents who January 6th investigators would like to hear from have now hired their own lawyers.
Some of the officers who said they'd be coming and talking under oath, they have not come in, and they've recently retained private counsel.
When you say the officers who have retained counsel, is that referring to Ornato and Engel?
And the driver.
And the driver?
Yeah.
The Congresswoman is referring to former White House Deputy Chief of Staff Tony Ornato, who had served as a Secret Service agent, and Robert Engel, the former head of Trump's security detail. During last night's hearing, we saw and heard evidence of what the agents assigned to protect Mike Pence were facing as rioters stormed the Capitol.
Hold! Hold! They can't keep the building. Hold!
Open that door up. If we're moving, we need to move now.
Copy.
If we lose any more time, we may lose the ability to leave. So if we're going to leave, we need to do it now.
They've gained access to the second floor, and I've got public about 5 feet from me down here below.
Okay, copy. They are on the second floor, moving in now. We may want to consider getting out and leaving now. Copy.
That day was the start of the public political rift between former President Trump and Mike Pence. Tonight, they are both in Arizona campaigning for 2 rival Republican candidates for governor.